Hello, my yoga family. We will be practicing yoga today, but before that, I wanted to give you an update on some changes that are coming. The biggest thing being that I am creating a platform of videos on my personal website, which is paisleyann.com. I will link it below in the comments. And what you're going to be seeing here on the YouTube page is fewer videos released that are free and open to the public. And the reason for this is it's just not financially viable. And this is not a pity me situation, but I do want you to know that in order to monetize on YouTube, maybe you know this already, but you need over 1,000 followers and a certain amount of watch times per year in minutes. And I'm not quite at that right now. And of course, I'm working to grow that. But in the meantime, I've been doing this work for free. And it takes me about 3 times as long to create, describe, title, thumbnail, upload a video than it does for me to teach a class in person. So I'm just pivoting a little bit, and what I'm going to be doing over on the other platform is creating some different tiers of membership. There will always be free content. I'm not going to give up on that. There will be some here on YouTube, but much fewer. And instead, over on my page, if you create an account, which is free, you don't have to do anything but create a login, you will have access to a library of free content, just like you do here on YouTube. But also, I'm going to have membership plans that will have specialized videos that are only available if you pay, as well as live class offerings and additional pre-recorded offerings each month. Now, how all that is going to work out, I'm still in the works for that. So right now, everything is free. And if this is something that you do regularly, if you come to this page regularly, you know, I'm usually pretty shy about asking for support, but I need to ask for help right now. This is something that I really want to keep doing. I really want to keep making yoga available to all people, especially during COVID. And I also need to help support myself. So again, I really appreciate you being here. I'm not going away. I'm still going to keep creating videos. There'll be fewer here on YouTube. And then there's going to be an entire platform with different tiers of affordable memberships where you can have access to different pieces of information. So I know that was like 3 minutes and you're probably overhearing about it, but we'll get to practicing. And again, I just appreciate you being here, and I really want to keep offering this. So if you can, please support in any way that you're able. Okay, so let's head over to the mat, and you're gonna wanna have something like a blanket, and we're gonna fold it up. I've got mine kind of in a rectangle. You can also roll it, and we're gonna begin by lying down, and you're gonna have your buns on one side. The blanket's gonna go kind of in the shoulder blade armpit area of the back so that the head and shoulders are on the other side. So get yourself situated there, lying back, arms resting in whatever position is comfortable. You want the height of the prop to be enough that you're feeling some chest opening, but not so much that you're uncomfortable or strained. Exhale fully. Notice the inhale that just naturally occurs right after that. Two more breaths. Trusting that the breath is there even when you don't try. Begin to sway your hips and your knees now from side to side. So with the feet flat on the mat, the knees bent, and feet a little bit apart. Start to move your legs like windshield wipers, side to side, opening up the pelvis, stretching the sides, even maybe the tops of the thighs. When your knees go to the left just leave them there. Just pause. That right knee sort of floating in an internal rotation or drop knee position. And you're going to take your right arm and reach up alongside your ear overhead. Now I'm kind of close to a wall, and if you don't have room like I do, you can just bend that elbow a little bit. And picture some length from right knee through the right elbow or right hand. Let's release the right arm, bring the knees to center. Take the legs over to the right. Let's let that right knee rest. Left knee is probably floating a little bit. If it's bugging your knee at all, you can go a little bit more towards straight leg with the left side, left knee, or even move your foot over a little bit more to the right. Let's add reaching out through that left arm, straight or bent. It's up to you and what kind of space you have around you. You're going to release the arm, and instead of bringing the legs up, just turn over onto your right side. Kind of push with your hands and roll up so that the head comes up last. Once you get to sitting upright, and keep the knees kind of staggered in this, I don't know what you'd even call it. I mean, it's kind of mermaid-like position, I don't know, or merperson. It's politically correct. So both feet are off to the left. You're going to turn to the right. Use your hands on the mat. Push into the ground. Draw the waistline up, and as you twist, just see if you can lengthen through the spine. As you lengthen through the spine, think of it like the whole spine, the front and the back is lifting up, so it's not such a huge exaggerated back bend. And go ahead and untwist and swing your feet over to the right. Staggering the legs however it works for you. And then you're going to twist to the left. Come push on down to the floor with your hands and lift through the spine. As you lift, don't just lift the front, lift the back of the body too. Take the gaze out so that the neck is long. Let yourself breathe naturally, just trusting that the breath is there. Isn't that nice that we don't have to consciously think about breathing? We can just know the next breath will come. Go ahead and find your way back out of the twist, and then move yourself into an all fours position. You're going to walk your feet back a little toward the back of your mat, stack the hips above the knees, and then walk your hands forward and come into puppy pose or Anahata asana. Anahata means heart. It's one of the words for heart chakra, really. So where you want to bend is in the upper back or heart space. And that means you want to keep a little lift or buoyancy in the armpits and shoulders, so that the part of you that's bending is the back. And if this is too much intensity with straight arms, you can always drop your forearms down and try to work that same part of your back without so much intensity on the arms. Open the front of the throat, forehead's on the floor, maybe chin. Find your way up to all fours. And take a step forward with your right leg. You're going to bring your hands up onto that front knee. And then staying upright, we're going to keep the hips above the left leg and just slightly draw the tail under. So just enough that we're stretching the hip flexors on the left side and keeping some of the length in the back body that we started with in our twist. So assuming that you can keep that, begin to bend into the right leg. Try not to collapse this work of pushing the pelvis and tail forward so that the low back is also long. Reach up through the left arm. And much like when we were on the back, you're welcome to bend your elbow. I'm going to keep mine straight. And you're going to just tip a little bit over to the right. So side bending over to the right. Draw the tail slightly forward, lengthen the low back, and then bend into the front leg a little more, just trying to get really into those hips. Just open the throat, lift the gaze. Soften the eyes and look out as if looking towards this greater vision, this bigger possibility, just trusting you'll get there eventually. Let's take the left arm across, and we're going to give a couple options here. So one, you can lean forward and hook your elbow on your leg. If that doesn't work for you, you can put your hand on the outside of your knee instead. In that case, you would put your right hand behind your back. I'm going to go for the elbow. If you get the elbow, just stack your hands, push the palms together, twist around to the right. On in-breath, untwist. We're going to take the hands down to the floor inside the right leg, walk that right foot over to the right, bend into the right leg. And then consider reaching back either for a thigh stretch, grabbing the right foot with your hand, the left foot with your hand. Or you could also take lizard pose where you bow forward and round the back. Totally different feeling options. You're going to start to make your way out of that, whatever one you got into. And we'll just switch legs by stepping the right leg back to all fours and the left leg forward to a kneeling lunge. You're going to bring your hands onto your left knee. Hips are going to be above the right knee, and you're going to draw the tail down. So sometimes it's good to keep a little bit more of the natural curve in the lumbar spine. And sometimes we work it differently, which is what we're doing today. Today we're working on a little bit of glute squeeze to draw the tail down, to lift up the front hip bone, the ASIS, away from the right knee. And so we're aiming to stretch the hip flexors on the right side. That's our goal. So we're going to try to keep that orientation. It's a little bit of a posterior tucked pelvis position. And we're going to see if we can bend forward into the left leg without losing that. That's engaging some work at the same time as you're stretching. So you're not just collapsing and letting go. On in-breath, sweep the right arm up. And take a little side bend to the left on the exhale. Keep the throat open, a little bend in the upper back where you were lying on your blanket earlier. But some length in the low back, tail down, back of the spine lifting up as well. Let's cross into a twist, right elbow across the knee, or bring your hand to your knee. Either stack your hands or put the left hand on your back. Please untwist, put your hands on the mat, walk the left foot wide a little bit to the left so that both hands can come down. And then you're either going to do lizard pose, which is where you round and kind of crouch down, or you can reach back with either hand, pick up that right foot and take a thigh stretch. Find your way out. Step back with the left foot. And then lean your hips forward into a back bend. So there's lots of choices here. I'm gonna do cobra. So cobra pose, we have the knees down, but we coil the spine up in a back bend. Up dog, the knees are up. But you could also do sphinx and put your forearms down. Push back and take down dog or return to puppy pose once more. 3 breaths here. Push just a little deeper in the upper back as you finish this breath, just like puppy pose, or if you are in puppy pose. And step forward with the right foot. Match that with the left. Exhale, fold in. On the in-breath, bend your knees. And bring your hands up just above your knees. So it's a version of chair pose. We're gonna squat deep enough that we can begin to put some weight into the heels without the toes lifting up. Keep some firing energy, some work in the back of the legs. Knees are either parallel or they're touching if your feet are together, mine are apart. And then sweep the arms forward. Try to draw the tail down, lift the belly, and lift the back of the spine. Maybe you stay here, or perhaps the arms come up, which is, of course, more intense. On the in-breath, stand. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart, but curl into a back bend. Push the tail forward, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, forward fold, touch the ground. Inhale to a long spine. Take the hands to the mat and step back to plank. And begin to lower forward and down through the low plank, transitioning again to the back bend of your choice. Push back, downward facing. Take 5 breaths. And while you hold for the last few breaths, just conjure this vision. Hold the vision. Where are you headed? What are you creating? What changes are you moving towards? Even if you don't know how to get there, just stay the course and trust you will be supported and the way will be clear. Drop the knees and come into child's pose. Let's give a few more breaths to let your heart rate and your breathing rate slow down. You're going to use your hands and push yourself to sitting. Now, from here, your choice to either sit or to lie down. Just for a few moments, I'm going to choose sitting to really have a little bit more alert mental energy. Try to relax your physical body wherever you are. And then mentally, you're just seeing this place where you're moving towards. Maybe it's an actual visual, maybe it's just a feeling tone, where you feel you want to be. Maybe it's a physical location or a person. Don't get caught up in the details too hard. You don't need to figure out how to get there yet. Just draw an energetic line between you and that destination. Take a few breaths to energize that line and to cement that connection. And you can continue to work with that throughout your day or in your own meditation practices or whatever you do while you're running. But for now, we will close our practice. If you're sitting, you can join your hands at your heart. If you're on your back, maybe you just bring them to your belly. Breathe a full, rich breath in and let it out through your mouth. Again, I thank you for being here, and I thank you for being open to the changes that will come and for all this. 2020 has been wild, and this is the first time in my career that I've largely worked online and not in person with people. So I'm learning all at the same time as you might be learning. So thanks again for being here, and please check the link in the comments to go to my website and learn more about me and about these changes that are coming. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.